بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's Jawahir Quran and the Juz of the Quran. We have reached Surah Al-Infitar. The very last reading was Surah Abasa, which means that Imam Al-Ghazali did not choose anything, not select anything from Surah At-Takwir. I thought maybe if we could reflect on one verse from Surah Takwir and just move on to Surah Al-Fitar, the surah that we are going to read and comment about. Imam Ghazali shows 3 verses, beginning with verse 6, 6, 7, and 8. But let's basically choose or read that verse from Surah At-Takwir. Again, surah begins with end of time scenarios, changes in the universe. In fact, the natural order of things is disrupted, and whether you talk about the material realm, the universe, the stars, or on Earth itself, and also the animals are mentioned here, and people are going to be resurrected, and their souls and bodies will be paired once more. And then we have verse 8, which is 8 and 9, of course. Verse 8, which I would like to share with you. And the day of judgment, baby girls buried alive are asked for what crime they were put to death. وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت. So this is not only killing a baby, it's killing a baby girl on purpose. It took place during the time of pre-Islamic time, during the time of ignorance, Jahiliyyah. Many people were worried about their baby girls growing up and being kidnapped by enemy. There were tribes where they fought against each other, and they would kill them, take the property and take the woman. And they thought that this is like the ultimate honor. So they would kill the baby girl, bury them, and the problem is that they have buried them alive. In China, when they applied the one baby policy, many people opted for a baby boy. So when a woman would have a woman becomes pregnant with a baby girl, and they are allowed only one baby, so abortion was the way to terminate these pregnancies with baby girls. And the World Health Organization, it's a very sad story, because in the under this topic, which is abortion, they speak about how not only the abortion and the babies, of course, killed. They would use the abortion, termination. But the issue is 70 at this stage, around 73 million induced abortions take place worldwide each year. 6 out of 10, 61% of all unintended pregnancies, and 3 out of 10, that's 29% of pregnancies, in induced abortion. And this is a shame. And the idea of image, that's part of it. Responsibility. The problem is that also we have fornication and adultery, and that's also part of the problem. Date rape. There are many. It's a very complex picture. But the end result is that at this stage we have at least 73 million, if not more, per annum. And that's a sad story. And selling the idea that women are free when really, when men basically are getting what they want without marriage, they are not taking responsibility, and they simply, the moment a woman is pregnant, they might split وإذا الموءودة سئلت. So not only the girls who were buried alive at the time, but all babies, both male and female, are killed. And I'm not talking about there are cases when it's really a medical necessity. That's a different story. I'm talking about really having an abortion, as we say, for cosmetic reasons. So the disintegration of the family, and also in about 45% of these abortions, the conditions, the abortions themselves, they take place in unsafe places, and that leads to also maternal deaths and morbidities. That's what I wanted to share from Surah At-Takwir. Now back to the Infitar. And the name of the surah we'll find in the very first verse. أعوذ بالله السميع من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا السماء انفطرت. When the sky splits open. Elsewhere in the Qur'an uses انشقت. When the sky turns rosy, red, the universe comes to its to end, an appointed term. There will be dramatic changes when the stars fall away. وإذا الكواكب انتثرت. Stars, planets, celestial bodies, and when the seas burst forth. وإذا البحار فجرت. So the universe but also our oceans, our seas, our lakes, and everything, these large bodies of water, they burst forth. There are some suggestions about the meaning, because from somewhere else in the Quran, the image would entail also the oceans will be set ablaze, and that's something different from what we are um, used to. The oceans are the waters, the shores for us are places for cooling. Now they are burning. Is it because of um, things that will emerge from the beneath the crust of Earth under the sea? Is it because of volcanoes erupting? Because we do have volcanoes under water. Is it because the water itself? Remember that we talk about uh, water's H2O, so two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of oxygen. There's H2O2, but that's not the time to talk about this. If they are separated, these are combustible. It's not that, subhanAllah, water is this drink that quenches our thirst is made up of two gases that are combustible, highly combustible. So these are some of the scenes that one can witness. In fact, there's a hadith. The hadith in essence is mentioned in the Bukhari and Muslim. And there's a narration that says if you would like to see the day of judgment, then do recite إذا الشمس كورت, do recite إذا السماء انفطرت, do recite إذا السماء انشقت. So this particular surah is it reflects that end of time, the day of judgment. So in general, if you need to see or read or understand a topic in the Quran, just look at all the verses and try to see what's going on in the Sunnah of the Hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Imam Ghazali says, if you'd like to see a scene of the Day of Judgment, just look at on Mount Arafah at people. They are practically as if they are wrapped in two simple pieces of cloth, these white cloth, which is pretty close to the image of the shroud, the death shroud. And the next, in fact, verse is about the graves spilling out that which is inside the dead people that are being resurrected. At that moment, so when people are resurrected, every single soul will know what it has sent forth or left behind. You would know. It will. In fact, people do know. They do right now. They do know. If you have committed a crime, whether you were caught or not, you know. If you have sinned, whether people know about it or not, you know. You have misbehaved, you know. You have cheated, you know. Committed grave sins, you know. Did not utilize your time effectively, also, you know. You could have contributed more, you know. have studied more, you could have achieved, you could have worshipped, you could have prayed more, you could have all the supererogatory acts of worship, sunnah, extra fasting, extra praying, extra almsgiving, you know, and whether you have whether you are a believer or not. You chose to be cool, you chose to be accepted by people rather than by God, but by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why the next verse really is a question about humanity, or of course every person. What has emboldened you against your Lord, the most generous? What is it? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the forgiving, the oft forgiving, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the generous, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the merciful, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept 99%, 99 shares of mercy for the day of judgment, and the mercy that we enjoy in this life, a mother and her baby, whatever, that's part of 100. What is it that emboldened you, deceived you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created you, fashioned you and perfected your design. Because that's the selection of Imam Al-Ghazali, the Jews in the surah, beginning with verse 6, يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. You created, you fashioned, you perfected your design, molding you in whatever form He willed, not in whatever form you have evolved on your own from dead matter that has no will at all. If it were the dead matter, then that's exactly what should be the case. Dead matter. A universe that was born, if you will, that began with a temperature, that is a quadrillion Celsius, then it should remain sterile. But of course, it's the divine will that physics becomes biology. That dead matter will become alive. Whether we talk about alive in the form of plants, alive in the form of animals, or alive in the form of human beings. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who formed you and fashioned you. But no, in fact, you deny the final judgment, while you are certainly observed by vigilant, honorable angels recording everything. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ. They know whatever you do. They know whatever you do. This is very important to realize. They are right there with us. They are recording everything. Whatever you say, and that's also included. And that's why in the hadith, وهل يكب, both are versions that are sound versions of the same hadith. الناس على وجوههم, on their faces, on people thrown on their faces on the day of judgment, except as the harvest of their own, as the harvest or the crops of their own tongues. So in one version of the hadith, they are thrown on their faces. The other version, they are thrown on their noses. In both cases, Remember, elsewhere in the Qur'an, نسفعا بالناصية. When the disbelievers who are destined for the hellfire, they will be dragged on their faces, humiliated. But let's go back to where we have started. It's what you say. What you say is part of your action. There's a subtitle in Sahih al-Bukhari, القول من جنس العمل. Your speech is part of your action. Those who are righteous, those who are virtuous, those who are good believers, إن الأبرار لفي نعيم, those who are virtuous will be in bliss. That's the hereafter. Real happiness is in the hereafter. It doesn't mean that you live a miserable life. You try to improve the conditions. The Prophet ﷺ in Sulh Hudaybiyah, he said when the delegation, the Meccan delegation, the delegation of the polytheists, when they were approaching, the Prophet ﷺ declared to his companions that he aims at an agreement that will prevent shedding blood. Some people will be obsessed with the number of years, the 10 years. It could be 20. I'm just throwing a number. The number was not intended for itself, the 10 years. It's not that Muslims are prohibited against having an agreement, and it's with the enemy. So real happiness is when you enter paradise, when you are in the company of the righteous. Just seek the company, inshallah, of the Prophet ﷺ, and being in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's really the bliss. You could have a taste by having dhikr, by avoiding the context that will definitely distract you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. So the righteous will, the virtuous will be in bliss. The wicked, the evil doers, the disbelievers, they'll be in hell. وَإِنَّ الْفُجَّارَ لَفِي جَحِيمٍ, bearing in it on Judgment Day. And they will have no escape from it. وَمَا هُمْ عَنْهَا بِغَائِبِينَ. This is why they wish they were dust elsewhere in the Qur'an. They ask for a day without punishment. They will ask the people of paradise for a real refreshing drink of water before they are separated for good. There will be a moment when they could see each other. But there's no way out for them. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. الدين and Dain, religion and death have the same form of the way the word is written, exactly identical except for how it is read, the short vowels, if you will. And the root is the same. And if you have followed Ibn Jinni, rahmullah, the Muslim linguist, you would know that he would say something like, if a word shares two letters with another word and they share part of the meaning, here they are identical. They are identical. The root of both religion and debt as if you are born into debt because of all the favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed on you. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ is going to be repeated again. What will make you realize what Judgment Day is? Again, what will make you realize what Judgment Day is? ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. On that day, you will realize يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله. It is the day of judgment is the day no soul will be of any benefit to another whatsoever. It's not up to another person. And on the day of judgment you will escape, you run away from even your own brother, your own siblings, your parents, your spouse, your children. It's the mean moment. You'd like to be saved. You would love, and inshallah, that each one of us will be with his and her loved ones in paradise, inshallah. So it is the day no soul will be of any benefit to one another, for all authority on that day belongs to Allah entirely. In fact, all authority belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through and through. This is the end of Surah Al-Infitar. The next surah is Surah Al-Buruj. Imam Al-Ghazali selected 5 verses 12 to 16, and by choosing verses from Surah Al-Buruj, Imam Al-Ghazali rahmallah skipped the 2 written short chapters, المطففين and the انشقاق. Until the next reading, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.